Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at GBS 7. Serving Syracuse for 75 years.
The following program has been rated TV PG, and is intended for all viewers. Viewer discretion is not advised.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the MMB Productions Thanksgiving Day Special. Let's get on to the stories for today. Our first story involved the NFL and one of its teams, again. But this time, it's one of the most legendary teams of the 90s. That's right, it's the Dallas Cowboys, and if you're wondering why they hadn't won a Super Bowl since 1995, I'm gonna tell you why. So, let's begin.
Coordinates 1991.
Our story begins in 1988, as H.R. Bumbright, who became disenchanted with the team, was forced to sell the team to Jerry Jones on February 25, 1989 after an embarrassing 3-13 season. Jones immediately fired Tom Landry, the only head coach in franchise history up to that point, replacing him with University of Miami head coach Jimmy Johnson, and not the NASCAR driver. This was Jerry Jones' teammate at the University of Arkansas as a fellow defensive lineman in the early to mid-60s. The hiring of Johnson also reunited Johnson with second-year wide receiver Michael Irving, who had played collegiately at Miami. With the first pick in the draft, the Cowboys selected UCLA quarterback Troy Aikman. Later that same year, they would trade veteran running back Herschel Walker to the Minnesota Vikings for 5 veteran players and 8 draft choices. Although the Cowboys finished the 1989 season with a 1-15 record, their worst in almost 30 years, the trade later allowed Dallas to draft a number of impact players to rebuild the team. Johnson quickly returned the Cowboys to the NFL's elite. Skillful drafts at fullback Darryl Johnston and center Mark Stepnowski in 1989, running back Emmitt Smith in 1990, defensive tackle Russell Maryland and defensive tackle Eric Williams in 1991, and safety Darren Woodson in 1992. The young talent joined holdovers from the Landry era such as wide receiver Michael Irving, guard Nate Newton, linebacker Ken Norton Jr., offensive lineman Mark Tinney, defensive lineman Jim Jeffcoat, and veteran pickups such as tight end Jane Albachek and defensive end Charles Haley. Things started to look up for the franchise in 1990. On Week 1, Dallas won their first home game since September 1988 when they defeated the San Diego Chargers 17-14. They went 2-7 in their next 9 games, but won 4 of their last 6 games to finish the season with a 4th-place 7-9 record. Coming into 1991, the Cowboys replaced offensive coordinator Dave Shula with Norv Turner. The Cowboys raced to a 6-5 start, then defeated the previously unbeaten Redskins despite injury to Troy Aikman. Backup Steve Bearline took over. The Cowboys finished 11-5. In the wild card round, they defeated the Bears 17-13 for the Cowboys' first playoff win since 1982. In the divisional round, the season ended in a 38-6 playoff rout by the Lions, which I talked about in last year's Thanksgiving Day Special. In 1992, Dallas set a team record for regular season wins with a 13-3 mark. They started off the season by defeating the defending Super Bowl champion Redskins 23-10. Going into the playoffs as the number 2 seed, they had a first-round bye before facing division rival the Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys won that game 34-10 to advance to the NFC Conference Championship game for the first time in 10 years. They were pitted against the San Francisco 49ers, the number 1 seed. On January 17, 1993, the Cowboys went to Candlestick Park and defeated the 49ers 30-20 to clinch their first Super Bowl berth since 1978. Dallas defeated the Buffalo Bills 52-17 in Super Bowl 27, during which they forced a record 9 turnovers. Johnson became the first coach to claim a national championship in college football and a Super Bowl victory in professional football. Despite starting the 1993 season 0-2, they again defeated the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 28, 30-13, becoming the first team in NFL history to win a Super Bowl after starting 0-2. Dallas finished the regular season 12-4 as the number 1 seed of the NFC. They defeated the Green Bay Packers 27-17 in the divisional round. In the NFC Conference Championship, Dallas beat the 49ers in Dallas, 38-21. Dallas sent 8 NFL record 11 players to the Pro Bowl in 1993. Aikman, safety Thomas Everett, Irving, Johnston, Maryland, Newton, Norton, Novacek, Smith, Stepnowski, and Williams. Only weeks after Super Bowl 28, however, friction between Johnson and Jones culminated in Johnson stunning the football world by announcing his resignation. Jones then hired former University of Oklahoma head coach Barry Switzer to replace Johnson. The Cowboys finished 12-4 in 1994. They once again clinched a first-round bye and defeated Green Bay 35-9 in the divisional round. They missed the Super Bowl, however, after losing to the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, 38-28. Prior to the start of the 1995 season, Jerry Jones lured All-Pro cornerback Deion Sanders away from San Francisco. Dallas started the season 4-0, including shutting out their division rival New York Giants 35-0 at Giants Stadium to open their season. Emmitt Smith set an NFL record with 25 rushing touchdowns that season. They ended the season in 12-4 and went into the playoffs as the number 1 seed. In the divisional round, they dispatched their division rival Eagles 30-11 to advance to their 4th consecutive NFC Conference Championship game, in which they defeated Green Bay 38-27. In Super Bowl 30, the Cowboys defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-17 at Sun Devil Stadium for their 5th Super Bowl championship. Switzer joined Johnson as the only coaches to win a college football national championship and a Super Bowl. The glory days of the Cowboys were again beginning to dim as free agency, age, and injuries began taking their toll. Star receiver Michael Irving was suspended by the league for the first 5 games of 1996 following a drug-related arrest. He came back after the Cowboys started the season in 2-3. They finished the regular season with a 10-6 record, won the NFC East title, and entered the playoffs as the number 3 seed in the NFC. They defeated Minnesota 40-15 in the wild card round, but were eliminated in the divisional round of the playoffs 26-17 by the Carolina Panthers. The Cowboys went 6-10 in 1997, including losing their last 6 games of the season, with discipline and off-field problems becoming major distractions. As a result, Switzer resigns as head coach in January 1998, and former Steelers offensive coordinator Chan Gailey was hired to take his place. Gailey led the team to 2 playoff appearances with a 10-6 record in 1998 and an NFC East championship, but the Cowboys were defeated in the playoffs by the Arizona Cardinals 20-7. In 1999, Dallas went 8-8, during which Irving suffered a career-ending spinal injury in a loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, ending in another playoff loss, this time to the Minnesota Vikings 27-10. Gailey was fired and became the first Cowboys coach who did not take the team to a Super Bowl. Defensive coordinator Dave Campo was promoted to head coach for the 2000 season. Prior to the season starting, cornerback Deion Sanders was released after 5 seasons with the team. He later signed with division rival Washington. In Week 1, they were blown out 41-14 by Philadelphia. That game was very costly when veteran quarterback Troy Aikman suffered a serious concussion which ultimately ended his career. Longtime NFL QB Randall Cunningham filled in for Aikman for the rest of the season at QB. The Cowboys finished the season in 4th place with a 5-11 record. The only highlights of 2000 were Emmitt Smith having his 10th consecutive 1,000-yard rushing season and a season sweep over the Redskins. 2001 was another hard year in Dallas. Prior to the season starting, Aikman was released from the team and he retired due to the concussions he had received. Jerry Jones signed Tony Banks as a QB. Banks had been a starter for half of the season the previous year for the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens before being benched. Jones also drafted QB Quincy Carter in the 2nd round of that year's draft, and Banks was released during the preseason. Ryan Leaf, Anthony Wright, and Clint Stonewall competed for the quarterback position that season. Dallas again finished at 5-11, last place in the NFC East, but they swept the Redskins for the 4th consecutive season. Prior to the 2002 season, Dallas drafted safety Roy Williams with the 8th overall pick. The season started out low as the Cowboys lost to the expansion Houston Texans 19-10 on Week 1. The losing streak was punctuated with a Week 17 20-14 loss against Washington. That game was Smith's last game as a Cowboys player. He was released during the off-season. Campo was immediately fired as head coach at the conclusion of the season. Jones then lured Bill Parcells out of retirement to coach the Cowboys. The Cowboys became the surprise team of the 2003 season, getting off to a hot 7-2 start, but went 3-4 for the rest of the season. They were able to grab the second NFC wildcard spot with a 10-6 record, but lost in the wildcard round to eventual conference champion Carolina Panthers, 29-10. In 2004, Dallas was unable to replicate their 2003 success, and ended 6-10. Quincy Carter was released during the preseason and was replaced at QB by Vinny Testaverde. Dallas got off to a hot 7-3 start for the 2005 season, but ended up in third place with a 9-7 record. Prior to the beginning of that season, they signed veteran Drew Bledsoe as starting quarterback. 2006 was an interesting year for the Cowboys. Prior to the season, they signed free agent wide receiver Terrell Owens, who was talented yet controversial. The Cowboys started the 2006 season 3-2. During a Week 7 match against the Giants, Bledsoe, who had been struggling since the start of the season, was pulled from the game and was replaced by backup Tony Romo. Romo was unable to salvage the game and Dallas lost 38-22. However, Romo was named the starter for the team and went 5-1 in his first 6 games. Dallas ended the season with a 9-7 second-place finish. They were able to clinch the number 5 playoff seed. They traveled to play Seattle, where the Seahawks won 21-20. After the season, Parcells retired and was replaced by Wade Phillips. Dallas started the 2007 season with a bang, winning their first 5 games. They won 12 of their first 13 games, with their only loss during that span being to New England, who went undefeated that season. Despite dropping 2 of their last 3 regular season games, the Cowboys clinched their first number 1 NFC seed in 12 years, which also granted them a first-round bye and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They lost in the divisional round 21-17 to the eventual Super Bowl champion New York Giants. In the tumultuous 2008 season, the Cowboys started off strong, going 3-0 for the second straight year, en route to a 4-1 start. However, things soon went downhill from there, after quarterback Tony Romo suffered a broken pinky in an overtime loss to the Arizona Cardinals. With Brad Johnson and Brooks Balliner playing as backups, Dallas went 1-2 during a 3-game stretch. Romo's return showed promise, as Dallas went 3-0. However, injuries mounted during the season, with the team losing several starters for the year, such as Kyle Kosier, Felix Jones, safety Roy Williams, punter Matt McBriar, and several other starters playing with injuries. Entering December, the 8-4 Cowboys underperformed, finishing 1-3. They failed to make the playoffs after losing at Philadelphia in the final regular season game, which saw the Eagles reach the playoffs instead. On May 2, 2009, the Dallas Cowboys practice facility collapsed during a windstorm. The collapse left 12 Cowboys players and coaches injured. The most serious injuries were special teams coach Joe DeCamillis, who suffered fractured cervical vertebrae and had surgery to stabilize fractured vertebrae in his neck, and Rich Bam, the team's 33-year-old scouting assistant, who was permanently paralyzed from the waist down after his spine was severed. The 2009 season started positively with a road win against Tampa Bay, but fortunes quickly changed as Dallas fell to a 2-2 start. In Week 5, with starting wide receiver Roy Williams sidelined by injury, receiver Miles Austin got his first start of the season and had a record-setting day, with 250 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns, to help lead Dallas to an overtime win over Kansas City. Following their bye week, they went on a 3-game winning streak, including wins over Atlanta and NFC East division rival Philadelphia. Despite entering December with a record of 8-3, they lost their slim grip on first place in the division with losses to the New York Giants and San Diego. Talks of past December collapses resurfaced, and another collapse in 2009 seemed validated. However, the team surged in the final 3 weeks of the season with a 24-17 victory at the Superdome, ending New Orleans' previously unbeaten season in Week 15. For the first time in franchise history, they posted back-to-back shutouts when they beat division rivals Washington 17-0 and Philadelphia 24-0 to end the season. In the process, the Cowboys clinched their second NFC East title in 3 years, as well as the 3rd seed in the NFC playoffs. 6 days later, in the wild-card round of the playoffs, Dallas played the Eagles in a rematch of Week 17. The Cowboys defeated the Eagles for the first Cowboys postseason win since the 1996 season, ending a streak of 6 consecutive NFL postseason losses. Dallas ended their playoff run after a hard divisional playoff loss to the Minnesota Vikings. After beginning the 2010 season at 1-7, Phillips was fired as head coach and was replaced by offensive coordinator Jason Garrett as the interim head coach. The Cowboys finished the 2010 season 6-10. With the 9th pick of the first round of the 2011 draft, the Cowboys selected USC tackle Tyron Smith. To start the 2011 season, the Cowboys played the Jets on a Sunday night primetime game in New York on September 11th. The Cowboys held the lead through most of the game, until a fumble, blocked punt, and interception led to the Jets coming back to win the game. In Week 2, the Cowboys traveled to San Francisco to play the 49ers. In the middle of the second quarter, while the Cowboys trailed 10-7, Tony Romo suffered a rib injury and was replaced by John Kitna. Kitna threw 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions until Romo returned in the third quarter as Dallas trailed 17-7. Romo then threw 3 touchdown passes to Miles Austin as the Cowboys rallied to send the game into overtime. On the opening possession after a 49ers punt, Romo found wide receiver Jesse Holley on a 78-yard pass, which set up the game-winning field goal by rookie kicker Dan Bailey. The Cowboys ended the season 8-8. They were in a position to win the NFC East, but lost to the Giants in a Week 17 primetime Sunday night game on NBC, which allowed the Giants to win the division. The Giants would go on to win Super Bowl 46. The Cowboys started off the 2012 season on a high note by defeating the defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants 24-17 on the opening night of the season. They would hover around the 500 mark for the majority of the season. They lost a close Week 6 game to eventual Super Bowl 47 champion Baltimore Ravens 31-29 at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Going into Week 17, they found themselves once again 1 win away from winning the division. Standing in their way were the Washington Redskins, who had beaten them on Thanksgiving at a TNT Stadium and who were 1 win away from their first division title since 1999. Led by Robert Griffin III, the Redskins defeated the Cowboys at home 28-18. Dallas once again finished the season 8-8. In the 2013 season, the Cowboys started off by defeating the New York Giants for the 2nd straight year, this time 36-31. It was the first time since the TNT Stadium had opened back in 2009 that the Cowboys were able to defeat the Giants at home. The win was punctuated by Brandon Carr intercepting an Eli Manning pass for a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. For the 3rd straight year, Dallas once again found themselves stuck in the 500 area. In Week 5, they lost a shootout to the eventual AFC champion Denver Broncos 51-48. They battled it out with the Philadelphia Eagles for control of the division throughout the season. In December, however, they lost 2 crucial back-to-back games to Chicago and Green Bay. They were very successful in division games, having a 5-0 division record heading into another Week 17 showdown for the NFC East crown against the Eagles. That included beating Washington 24-23 on Week 16 thanks to late-game heroics of Tony Romo. However, Romo received a severe back injury in that game which prematurely ended his season. The Cowboys called upon backup quarterback Kyle Orton to lead them into battle on the final week of the season. Orton was unsuccessful, as he threw a game-ending interception to the Eagles which allowed the Eagles to win 24-22. Dallas ended the year at 8-8 for the 3rd year in a row. The only difference of this 8-8 ending, compared to the others, was how Dallas ended the season in 2nd place, compared to the 2 previous 3rd-place finishes. To start off the 2014 season, Dallas began by losing to San Francisco 28-17. After that, they went on a 6-game winning streak. The highlight of this streak was defeating the Seahawks at Central Link Field 30-23. In Week 8, the Redskins won in overtime 20-17, and Romo injured his back again. He missed next week, a home loss to the Arizona Cardinals 28-17 with backup QB Brandon Wheaton. Romo returned in Week 9 to lead a 31-17 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars, which was played at Wembley Stadium in London, England as part of the NFL International Series. Dallas played their traditional Thanksgiving home game against division rival Philadelphia. Both teams were vying for first place in the division with identical 8-3 records. The Eagles got off to a fast start and the Cowboys were unable to catch up, losing 33-10. They would rebound the next week when they defeated Chicago 41-28. Week 15 was a rematch against first-place Philadelphia. This time it was the Cowboys who got off to a fast start, going up 21-0, and the Eagles put up 24 points, but Dallas came back to win 38-27 to go into first place for the first time in the season and improve to 10-4. Going into the Week 16 matchup at home against Indianapolis, Dallas was in a position to clinch their first division title since 2009 by defeating the Colts 42-7 and the Eagles losing the week to the Redskins. They became the 2014 NFC East champions, eliminating the Eagles from the playoffs. Dallas ended the regular season with a 12-4 record and an 8-0 away record when they won on the road against Washington 44-17. On January 4th, 2015, the Cowboys, as the number 3 seed in the game, the Lions got off to a hot start, going up 14-0 in the first quarter. Dallas initially struggled on both sides of the ball. However, towards the end of the second quarter, Romo threw a 76-yard touchdown pass to Terrence Williams. Matt Prater of the Lions would kick a field goal before halftime to go up 17-7. Dallas came out swinging to start the second half by picking off Detroit quarterback Matthew Stafford on the first play of the third quarter. However, the Cowboys failed to capitalize on the turnover, as Dan Bailey missed a field goal during Dallas's ensuing drive. Detroit then kicked another field goal to make the score 20-7. A DeMarco Murray touchdown later in the quarter closed the gap to 20-14. A 51-yard Bailey field goal almost 3 minutes into the fourth quarter shrinked the Cowboys' deficit to 3. The Lions got the ball back and started driving down the field. On third down and 1 of that Lions drive, Stafford threw a 17-yard pass intended for Lions tight end Brandon Pettigrew, but the ball hit Cowboys linebacker Anthony Hitchens in the back a fraction of a second before he ran into Pettigrew. The play was initially flagged as defensive pass interference against Hitchens. However, the penalty was then nullified by the officiating crew. The Cowboys got the ball back on their 41-yard line and had a successful 59-yard drive, which was capped off by an 8-yard touchdown pass from Romo to Williams to give the Cowboys their first lead of the game at 24-20. The Lions got the ball back with less than 2:30 to play in regulation. Stafford fumbled the ball at the 2-minute mark. The fumble was recovered by Cowboys defensive end Marcus Lawrence, who then fumbled the ball, which was recovered by the Lions. Lawrence would redeem himself by sacking Stafford on a 4th down and 3 play. The sack led to Stafford fumbling the ball again, which Lawrence recovered to seal the game for the Cowboys, who won 24-20. This was the first time in franchise playoff history that Dallas had been down by 10 or more points at halftime and rallied to win the game. The following week, the Cowboys traveled to MMB Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin to play the Packers in the divisional round. Despite having a 14-7 halftime lead, the Cowboys fell to the Packers 26-21, thus ending their season. The season ended on an overturned call of a completed catch by Dez Bryant. The catch was challenged by the Packers, and the referees overturned the call because of the Calvin Johnson rule. During the 2015 offseason, the Cowboys allowed running back DeMarco Murray to become a free agent. Murray signed with the division rival Philadelphia Eagles. On July 15th, wide receiver Dez Bryant signed a 5-year, $70 million contract. At home against the New York Giants, Dallas won 27-26. Dez Bryant left the game early with a fractured bone in his foot. On the road against the Philadelphia Eagles, Romo suffered a broken left collarbone, the same one he injured in 2010, and Brandon Wheaton replaced him. Dallas won 20-10 to begin the season 2-0, but then went on a 7-game losing streak. They finished the season 4-12 and last in their division. After a preseason injury to Tony Romo in 2016, rookie quarterback Dak Prescott was slated as the starting quarterback, as Romo was expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks. In Week 1 against the New York Giants, Dallas lost 20-19. After this loss, Dallas would go on an 11-game winning streak. After much speculation leading to a potential quarterback controversy, Romo made an announcement that Prescott had earned the right to take over as the Cowboys' starting quarterback. In Week 10, Romo suited up for the first time in the season and was the backup quarterback. Dallas defeated the Baltimore Ravens to win their 9th straight game, breaking a franchise record of 8 straight games, set in 1977. It also marked rookie running back Ezekiel Elliott breaking Tony Dorsett's single-season rushing record for a Cowboys rookie. Prescott also tied an NFL rookie record held by Russell Wilson and Dan Marino by throwing multiple touchdowns in 5 straight games. Dallas finished 13-3, tying their best 16-game regular season record. While Dallas defeated Green Bay at MMB Field in Week 6, the Packers would win at a TNT Stadium in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs on a last-second field goal, ending the Cowboys' season. Dak Prescott was named NFL Rookie of the Year in the NFL honors on February 4, 2017, and Ezekiel Elliott led the league in rushing yards. Both Prescott and Elliott made the 2017 Pro Bowl. This is the first time the Cowboys sent 2 rookies to the Pro Bowl. 2017 was the first season since 2002 without quarterback Tony Romo, who retired on April 4th after 14 seasons with the Cowboys. The season also featured second-year running back Ezekiel Elliott being suspended for 6 games after violating the league's conduct policy. The suspension was to begin at the start of the year, but was pushed back to November. The Cowboys finished the year at 9-7 without making the playoffs. Following the season, Des Bryant was released after 8 seasons in Dallas, and tight end Jason Witten, who holds several franchise receiving records, retired after 15 seasons, ending an era. Following the end of the 2019 season, where the Cowboys failed to secure a playoff appearance, it was announced that the team had parted ways with longtime head coach Jason Garrett. Both Marvin Lewis, the former Bengals coach, and Mike McCarthy, the former Packers coach who left Green Bay to a Super Bowl win, were interviewed for the head coaching position. They went with McCarthy. As for the former Bengals coach, he went to Arizona State to be the special advisor to head coach Herm Edwards of the Sun Devils. Edwards was known for coaching the New York Jets from 2001 to 2005. Meanwhile, McCarthy and the Cowboys picked up the first win of the 2020 season on September 20th, scoring 40-39 against the Atlanta Falcons. On October 11th, the Cowboys' 2020 season was dealt a severe setback when quarterback Dak Prescott sustained a season-ending fracture. He was replaced by Andy Dalton, the former Bengals QB who pretty much fell off a cliff at this point. Meanwhile, in Washington, the NFL gods miraculously revived former 49ers and Chiefs quarterback Alex Smith, who suffered the Joe Theismann injury back in 2018, an injury that, in all likelihood, would have killed him due to life-threatening credenizing vasculitis that resulted in sepsis, which required him to undergo 17 surgeries, including 8 debridements, across 4 separate hospital stays over a period of 9 months. Doctors had suggested that an amputation above the knee might be his only option before performing skin grafts and an operation transferring muscle from his left quadriceps to save it. Jon Moxley was in a similar situation with his triceps injury late in his WWE career, but that was caused by a staph infection. Despite the loss of their star quarterback, McCarthy's first-year Cowboys remained in the running for a playoff appearance throughout most of the regular season. That was until Dalton suffered a brutal concussion in Week 7, and was replaced by some Rondo named Ben DiNucci, an undrafted free agent from James Madison. They would go on to finish the season with a 6-10 record, which ranked the team 3rd in the NFC East Division, or Tank Division according to Uber Sports ship poster Urinating Tree, who's a massive Steelers fan, or Lions are. Throughout the 2020 season, the Cowboys' defense struggled. Following the season, the team parted ways with defensive coordinator Mike Nolan and defensive line coach Jim Tomsula. As of Week 10 of 2021, the Cowboys are 7-2 and are in first place in the NFC East, and best of all, they got Prescott back. But they will be facing the Raiders on Thanksgiving Day. The Raiders, now in Las Vegas, are without veteran coach John Gruden, who resigned due to emails from 10 years ago, and 2 of their 2020 first-round picks were released, with Henry Ruggs killing a person while driving drunk and Damon Arnett, who threatened to kill someone on a typed video. Again, as of Week 10, the Raiders are 5-4 in 3rd place in a cutthroat AFC West, as the Broncos are 4th after losing to the Eagles, 30-13. Prescott suffered a right calf strain on a game-winning play against the Patriots in Week 6. Lucky for them, Week 7 was their bye week, and Prescott was ready to go against my Broncos team in Week 9, who traded Von Miller to the Rams in Week 8 BTW. The Broncos cruised to a victory, 30-16. But now I have some breaking news about not the NFL, but what I am gonna do with my life. As you all may know already, I was attending Oswego State for my BMC scholarship. Keyword was, because I had enough of the stress and thought to myself, I think the 2 years at OCC was enough I could handle, and I dropped out. Right now, I'm volunteering at the Meals on Wheels Corporation at the Canton Wood Senior Center in Baldwinsville, NY. Also saw the Guinness record book from 2004, and instead of borrowing it, I bought a fresh copy off of Amazon, although I already have a paperback copy that was inferior to the hardcover, and so I'm planning to donate it somewhere. Although the book is not in the greatest condition, I'm sure someone can fix it up to be acceptable. I'm also volunteering at Taekwondo on Tuesdays before my black belt class at 6:30. Also just tested for my 2nd degree on October 23rd, and I think I did pretty well, although I could have done my stances and chambers better, and I got my temporary stripe as well as my black pants on November 18th. Although I have a set of black pants with flames on them from one of last year's events involving donating to breast cancer awareness. I donated over $300 thanks to my friends and family. I also walked around Clay to some places to look for jobs, and I need to submit an application for Applebee's, which my friend and fellow Patriots and Kyle Busch fan Dan Hill works there. Dan is also my teammate and leader for my Special Olympics Phoenix Fire basketball team. Tyler Livingston, CJ Moses, who is the voice actor for Jared Jermaine, and Mike Regan are the best players on the team, while me, David Barker, and Brooke Jones, known her for years BTW, are just okay, although I'm improving on my defense. The other place I needed to apply for is Walmart, where my mentor Shannon Van Pack knows 2 people there, the manager because she used to work there, and William, who I know because of Advocates Incorporated, so I have a lot of work to do in the meantime, meaning some stuff I've already scheduled for the rest of 2021 and January 2022 might get moved around a bit, or, in the case of 1 or 2 of my deviant art fan fictions, moved to a later time. One thing's for certain though, MMC Cross HTF Episode 5 and the future trailer for The Final Encounter, as well as trailers and premieres for Amnesia and HTF Survivor, will not be moved, unless I need to move them. So Christmas in 2 Dimensions will still come out on Christmas, and the only thing I need to do for that is the animation. Amnesia will still start on May 23, 2022, and HTF Survivor will still start on July 19, 2022. So now that's changed. Speaking of which, to end this special, here's a sneak preview of my next upcoming big project called Project The Final Encounter. That is the opening cinematic. See you guys later.
Sometime in the 24th century, Maverick Hunter City in recent years was under protection of the Maverick hunting organization known as the Maverick Hunter Society. Their lead hunter, Brandon Germain, otherwise known as MMB, was at the forefront of these Maverick crime cases, and thus, was able to bring these criminals to justice. Now a family man, with his wife Cheyenne Miller, and his 3 kids Jared, Alicia, and Lily, there hasn't been a serious Maverick outbreak since the defeats of Sigma and Dr. Right. However, in the Maverick Hunter Penitentiary, things are about to get worse. Much worse. On a troublemaker scale at least.
So what? You expect me to sit on my ass and do nothing? Well, you be wrong, because Maverick Hunter City will experience what real trouble is.
Bongo fucking idiot, shut the fuck up and go back to your room.
Ow. You son of a bitch. There will be no room you will send me to once I get through with my scheme. Just you wait.
What is this in my hands? .jpg. It's a lovely piece of art that this person didn't have to take the time to draw, but they did. Thanks to Sander50 at HTF for this awesome art. Funny enough, I was drinking a chocolate milkshake, but I only drink vanilla milkshakes. Also, nice job on getting mine and Cheyenne Miller's shirts correct. Although the text is Impact, which is, MMB Productions' most overused font, LOL. speak at the end of these, but this is very ironic. Hubert James Fox actually used an image from my most recent MMC Cross HTFF as More Heroes crossover. That's because it had Lenny in it. I also used Lenny in the short A Maverick Wife, and used him in Ryan Holden's intro card background, where he won a race, driving Sterling Marlin's famous Silver Bullet car he ran from 2001, his most successful season of Chip Ganassi Racing, now known as Trap House Racing, to 2005, Marlin's last season with CCR. David String also drove the cool Silver Bullet for two mediocre seasons in 2006 and 2007. Also, congratulations to Kyle Larson for winning the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Knowing fate, he would have won it last year too, if he wasn't indefinitely suspended. Anyways, that's all for now. Bye.